trigger happy and I give less than a fuck. Love me or hate me, I'ma show enough, rip shit up. It's Mr. Nothing, nice on a mic stand. Mic in the left and the zest in my right hand. I took a puff, had enough now, hold up. If that was Indo, niggas getting rolled up. Yo.
The way I find music sometimes, it's a weird thing. Like what I do, I'll look up type beat Eminem, type beat Hopsin, and what those basically are fan-made beats that people make where it sounds like something Eminem or Hopsin would rap on. I go in the comment section, I look for anybody that seems like they're a rapper, I click on their channel, add one of their songs to a playlist, and then once I get a decent amount in a playlist, I'll listen to all of them. A lot of times it is a waste of time, and a lot of it's just turd stack after turd stack, and it just sucks. But sometimes I do find gems. Like my best find was Chankster. I found him that way, and I was like, oh shit, I like this dude. And he was one of my favorites. He changed his music for the worse, and I don't like it anymore, sadly. But I still got his old music to listen to at least, and yeah. And I would say, I'm trying to think. I think the luckiest music find for me was maybe Phantom by Fix Craven. Because that one, I wasn't even looking for that song. It was kind of weird how that happened. Because one of the weird things I used to do on YouTube as an experiment, I would type in random shit. Like I would type in werewolf, vampire, rap music, you know? Or I would type in gargoyle rap music just to see what pops up. And there was some weird shit. Like there was this one laughable song. It was bad but funny. What they were like, it was like this British rap song, but like vampire song. And it was just funny the way they sung it, you know. And then when I was looking up werewolf rap, that's how I found Fix Craven, because he did a song called Werewolf. And I listened to it, I'm like, I don't like this track. Let me see if there's anything else by this Fix Craven I can like. And then what drew me to Phantom was the artwork. I was like, that looks like some cool artwork. And I was like, hell yeah. So, you know, man, it's kind of weird, but also interesting how I've been able to find artists. A lot of times it comes down to going on production videos, checking out the comments, or just stumbling upon it. Like, you know, Cinema Bazaar. Probably would say is my favorite rock artist personally. The only reason I knew them was because of Bizarre from D12. Their music is way different than each other, and yet I was able to find Cinema Bazaar through. Like, I remember when it happened, I was listening to some song by Bizarre called Bill Cosby or something, because it was a funny song. He was like, you know, doing the whole shock rap with Bill Cosby and the allegations, and you know, what did you put in my drink? Bill Cosby. It was a fun song. I remember I was looking that up to listen to it again, and I saw something else with the word bizarre, and the picture of it just reminded me of like BOTDF type stuff, and it made me click on it, and boom, a new artist I like. So a lot of times, man, with my music hunting, a lot of times I stumble upon it through some other way. I get lucky and find it. Sometimes it gets recommended to me. Those are the rarest ones though. Like there's two songs like Psycho by Ash, that song, that was recommended to me and I clicked on it. So that was a lucky one. J Positive, that was an advertisement, looking through comments. So it's definitely not something that I have fun doing a lot of times, because you have to sort through a lot of garbage, because, you know, you're not going to find gems all the time. You're just going to find a lot of artists that are trash, but you can eventually find some stuff. I wish the mainstream would push these people. That way you don't have to do the work. And, you know, even though my pace of finding new music is not as fast as it used to be, I'm grateful for the music I have found, you know. And I love the experience of finding new music that you fuck with. I love that shit. It feels so good. It's great, man. It's great. I just love it. Like when I first, you know, looked into BOTDF and seen them at school and then listening to music at home, I was just blown away, and I became so obsessed with them. I was like, I fucking love this music. I gotta listen to this all the time. It's just fucking good. That's one of the only good things I can say about my school time is I found BOTDF in school, which is kind of funny because their music definitely ain't for kids. I wonder who the hell it was that suggested that song, because nobody in that class at the time looked anywhere like they were seen. So I don't know. But it was always fun to find new music. You know, it's always a fun feeling because you hear it and you're just like, this is the shit, and you become obsessed with it. You listen to it all the time. I really hope I can find more new artists, because another thing that happens with music that kind of sucks is sometimes you get bored of artists. Like I used to have a huge Kid Cudi obsession years ago, but I don't know if you ever did this with artists, but sometimes I'll listen to an artist for a very long time, and then I eventually just get bored of them, you know. And I might come back to them eventually, but when I listen to them so much, it just, you know, you get bored of them. You want to listen to some other stuff. Happened to me with Dennis. It happened to me with Kid Cudi. It happened to me with BOTDF quite a few times, actually. It's kind of happened with JB. I think a lot of that has to do with him not putting a lot of new music out. But I used to have a huge obsession JB phase, and it happens. You know, you get into certain things, you do it a lot, and you eventually get tired of it, and you want to take a break from it, you know. But it just sucks when you don't have new stuff to replace that, and you're just kind of stuck. Like, oh shit, what do I do now? Because I'm bored of this until I take enough of a break.
And that's kind of the situation about YouTube. I know damn well that there are probably hundreds, thousands of YouTube videos or songs or stuff like that I would like if I could just find it. But there's just how many situations that, that's part. I really feel like in some cases YouTube is kind of a fishing game, where it's not just as simple. Like if I were to say that YouTube was a sport, I'd probably say it were fishing, just because that's the concept behind it. Is you have to go looking, and you have to know where to look, and you have to know what videos you want. And that's kind of, in some cases I don't mind, but I just wonder, like when I used to music hunt back in the day, when before YouTube and stuff, it really took some work as far as like me just having to visit like hip hop websites and just go off of like critic reviews. That's how I did it back in the day. Was if I saw that an album was like recommended, stuff like Eminem, but then got like a 9 out of 10. That's kind of how I found Exhibit in some ways, is just because I was looking up like all the Dr. Dre beats, like everything that Dr. Dre produced, because he was such a good producer. And it's like, oh yeah, well, Exhibit has had like 4 or 5 beats off of Dr. Dre, and I was like, well, I'm going to check him out. But this is kind of the thing. Really, if I could find like producers like as good as Dr. Dre, like if the Neptunes were still good, I would do that also. And people like that, Lil Jon beats are pretty good. But I just feel like even producers nowadays, that's another thing I kind of feel like, is where are all the dominant producers? Who's like the new Lil Jon or the new Neptunes or the new Timbaland or something like that? I don't know who's really dominating. Like, I'll hear about like Metro Boomin and stuff, but he's really like, immersed in trap. There's just a bunch of folks. I really just have noticed a severe lack of producers. But yeah.